Breaking news brought to you by O'Neill, as the 2024 Supercross and Motocross schedules have been announced, with the SMX final schedules penciled in as coming soon. As usual, the Supercross series will launch the first weekend of January in Anaheim on the 6th. We stay in California for the next 3 rounds, visiting San Francisco and San Diego, before returning to Anaheim on January 27th. The East Coast series gets a quick stop in Detroit on February 3rd, before heading southwest to Glendale on February 10th. A week off coincides with President's Day weekend before the southern leg continues in Arlington, Texas, and Daytona Beach before a first ever stop in Birmingham, Alabama on March 9th. Indianapolis follows that up, then to Seattle and St. Louis before another break Easter weekend. The final leg picks up on April 13th in Foxborough before returning to Nashville on 4/20, and then a rare stop in Philadelphia, and rounding out the series as usual with Denver and Salt Lake City to close it out. The outdoor national schedule remains almost exactly the same, kicking off 2 rounds in California at Fox Raceway and Hangtown, followed up then by Thunder Valley and High Point. After a week off, Southwick leapfrogs Redbud to set up the July 4th weekend in Michigan, then an annual stop at Spring Creek and Washougal before the Loretta Lynn's break. The series then finishes up with Unadilla, Budds Creek, and then the finale at Ironman for the 6th time since 2015. This marks one of the biggest changes to date, as we lose 4 cities, 3 of which have been series staples. The first, of course, is Atlanta, which will end its 35-year streak of being on the circuit, dating all the way back to 1989, hosting a total of 48 races since 1977, making it the 5th most visited city in the history of our sport. This means we lose 1 speedway track from the series, making Daytona again the only one on the traditional Supercross schedule. The Atlanta faithful still have hope, however, as the Birmingham, Alabama round will be held at Protective Stadium, home of the University of Alabama at Birmingham Blazers, just 150 miles west of the Atlanta metropolitan area. This is the first time we have raced in Alabama since 1984, when Jeff Ward took the checkered flag at a race held at the legendary Talladega Motor Speedway. Philadelphia joins the schedule for the first time since 1980, when Mike Bell clinched the Supercross championship at the John F. Kennedy Stadium site. This year, they will be racing at the much more modern Lincoln Financial Field, which is an open-topped arena that plays host to the Philadelphia Eagles home games. To make way for this race on the schedule, we unfortunately lose Tampa, which has been on the schedule just 3 times in the last 20 years, in 2018, 2020, and 2023. The series finally leaves the Oakland Coliseum in the dust after the fiasco of the first canceled race in modern history, after the stadium took on too much water to safely hold the event last January. In its place is San Francisco, a city we have raced at as recently as 2010, the year before Oakland joined the series. Back then, we raced at AT&T Park, home of the San Francisco Giants, and this time around, it's the same stadium but a new name, Oracle Park, and it is one of 3 baseball stadiums on the schedule, all in California and all in January, joining Angel Stadium and San Diego's Petco Park as the early leg of the series. And finally, a return to a city so great for motocross that Ricky Carmichael personally requested this track for his farewell tour because of the fans and the legendary dirt that can be found in St. Louis. Unfortunately, Texas had to give up one of its 2 rounds in Houston to make room for St. Louis, but as a Midwest native that frequents the St. Louis race, I have to say I am happy to see it back, as the track always makes for great racing, and the hybrid football stadium convention center makes up for the perfect fan experience of having completely indoor pits for fans to venture around in a controlled climate to combat the bitter March temperatures. St. Louis was previously an annual affair before being downgraded to every other year in 2016, and that has held true with appearances in 2018, 2020, 2022, and now again, of course, 2024. We now patiently await the release of the SMX Finals round schedule at the end of the year, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Atlanta take a spot, with a September date at the Atlanta Motor Speedway instead of the ZMAX Dragway in Charlotte, before another Midwest round likely at the Chicagoland Motor Speedway again, before we head back to California and close it out at the LA Coliseum for the 2nd year in a row. What is one city you were hoping to see on the 2024 schedule? Let me know in the comments what city you think is missing, and be sure to like the video on your way out, and if you can't wait for that Anaheim 1 opener. Thanks as always for watching RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.